Hello everyone and welcome to Old Coins TV channel. If you love exploring the world of coins, their history, value, and rare discoveries, you've come to the right place. Here, we'll share exciting information about coins from around the world, from ancient treasures to modern currency. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to never miss our latest videos. The 1973 D Washington 5 cent, more accurately known to serious collectors as the 1973 D Jefferson nickel, represents a fascinating chapter in modern U.S. coin history, especially when examined in very fine condition, where the coin still retains strong design detail, readable lettering, and visible facial features on Thomas Jefferson's portrait, making it highly attractive to both beginner and advanced collectors. Because this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the bold D mint mark on the obverse, during a time when the United States was facing major economic change, rising inflation, and shifting metal values, which makes coins from this era historically important. While millions of 1973 D nickels were produced for circulation, most were heavily used in everyday commerce and eventually worn down, damaged, or lost, meaning that well-preserved very fine examples are becoming harder to locate today, especially those with clean surfaces, strong rims, minimal scratches, and original luster traces, and this is where collector demand begins to rise. What truly pushes the 1973 D 5 cent into the category of big market value and auction excitement are its rare error varieties and exceptional strike qualities, including off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchettes, weaker missing mint marks, and unusual die cracks, all of which can transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a highly valuable numismatic treasure, with documented sales ranging from hundreds of dollars to even thousands of dollars when authenticated, graded, and certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Especially if the coin shows rare errors combined with a strong very fine or higher grade. Additionally, collectors pay close attention to strike sharpness on Monticello, Jefferson's hair details, and the clarity of inscriptions like Liberty and the date, because sharper examples indicate better die quality and limited circulation, further boosting value. Historically, the Jefferson nickel series has grown significantly in popularity as collectors realize that modern coins with the right characteristics can outperform older coins in market demand, and the 1973 D stands out because it bridges the gap between common circulation coinage and serious collectible potential. In today's coin market, fueled by YouTube, online auctions, and social media coin communities, interest in rare nickels has exploded, pushing prices upward and creating fierce competition for verified error coins and premium grade specimens, meaning that what many people once ignored in pocket change could now represent a valuable investment piece, especially as fewer high-quality examples remain uncirculated or lightly worn. When you combine historical context, mint-specific production, collector demand, condition rarity, and error varieties, the 1973 D Washington 5 cent becomes more than just a small coin. It becomes a powerful symbol of how hidden value can exist in everyday objects, and for collectors who know what to look for, this nickel can be a gateway into serious numismatics, where knowledge turns 5 cents into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, making it one of the most exciting modern nickels to watch in the evolving coin market today. As we go even deeper into the story of the 1973 D Washington Jefferson 5 cent, it becomes clear that condition and rarity are everything in the world of coin collecting, because while worn examples are common, a very fine condition coin with balanced wear, sharp lettering, and strong overall eye appeal tells a very different story to serious buyers. In very fine grade, Jefferson's profile remains bold, his hair still shows separation, and Monticello on the reverse retains visible architectural detail, which is critical because collectors do not just buy age, they buy preservation, and over decades of circulation, most 1973 D nickels lost these features entirely. This is why collectors actively search rolls, estate collections, and old coin jars, hoping to uncover a specimen that survived time with dignity, because when a very fine example also displays unusual strike strength, clean fields, or subtle minting anomalies, its desirability multiplies rapidly, especially in today's market where certified coins dominate auction platforms and transparency drives higher bidding competition. Many collectors underestimate modern-era nickels, but experienced numismatists understand that population reports show far fewer high-quality survivors than raw mintage numbers suggest, which is why demand continues to grow quietly but steadily for premium 1973D pieces. Another major factor behind the hundreds to thousands dollar market value discussion is the presence of recognized mint errors and varieties, which are the true engines of explosive price growth, because errors are accidental, unrepeatable, and extremely limited in number. A 1973D nickel struck off-center, with a clipped planchet, or showing doubled design elements can instantly elevate from a face-value coin to a centerpiece collectible, particularly when the error is dramatic yet the coin remains in very fine or better condition, since clarity makes the error easy to authenticate and visually impressive. Collectors are willing to pay premium prices for coins that tell a story of minting history gone slightly wrong, because each error represents a moment where machinery, human oversight, and metal collided in a unique way, never to be repeated again, and this rarity is what fuels high-end auction results. When such coins are graded and encapsulated by trusted third-party grading services, buyer confidence increases, often triggering bidding wars that push final sale prices far beyond expectations. In the broader context of coin history and modern collecting trends, the 1973D 5-cent benefits from a growing shift in collector mindset, where attention is moving away from only 19th-century classics and toward strategically rare modern coins, especially those with documented scarcity in top condition. YouTube channels, social media groups, and online marketplaces have played a huge role in educating collectors about what truly matters: strike quality, condition rarity, mint location, and verified errors, and as a result, coins like the 1973D Jefferson nickel are being re-evaluated and rediscovered. What once passed through millions of hands unnoticed is now being studied under magnification, weighed, measured, and compared, because collectors understand that the real value lies not in age alone, but in survival against the odds. This makes the 1973D Washington 5-cent a perfect example of how knowledge transforms perception, turning an everyday coin into a potential high-value historical artifact. And for viewers watching this video, it serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are already in our possession. We just need to know how to recognize them. When we talk about why collectors remain so interested in the 1973D Washington Jefferson 5-cent, we must understand how professional grading and certification have completely reshaped the coin market, because a coin in raw form may look ordinary, but once it is carefully examined, authenticated, and assigned a recognized grade, its story changes dramatically. A very fine graded 1973D nickel confirms that the coin has avoided excessive wear, corrosion, harsh cleaning, or damage, which are the most common value killers in modern coinage, and this alone makes it desirable to collectors who seek stable, trustworthy pieces for long-term holding. Certification also protects buyers from counterfeits and altered coins, which is increasingly important as prices rise. And when a certified coin also shows special attributes such as exceptional strike quality or recognized mint anomalies, it becomes eligible for premium listings, elite auctions, and private collector sales, where prices can climb into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity, eye appeal, and demand, proving that condition-backed authenticity is one of the strongest drivers of value in today's numismatic world. Another overlooked but powerful element in the value of the 1973D 5-cent is the role of supply versus active demand, because while millions were originally minted, only a small percentage survived today in collectible condition, and an even smaller fraction meet the standards that serious collectors require. Many coins from this era were stored improperly, exposed to moisture, cleaned with abrasive materials, or simply spent into circulation repeatedly, meaning that every year, the pool of high-quality survivors becomes smaller. At the same time, interest in Jefferson nickels continues to grow as more collectors attempt complete mint-marked sets or focus on Denver Mint issues specifically, which creates steady competition for the best remaining examples. This imbalance between shrinking supply and rising collector awareness is what slowly but consistently pushes values upward, especially for coins that are visually attractive and historically intact, making the 1973 D a quiet but important player in the modern coin market. From a historical perspective, the early 1970s represent a transitional period for U.S. coinage, marked by changing economic conditions, evolving mint technology, and increased production pressure, all of which influenced strike quality and error frequency. Coins produced during this time often show subtle variations that today's collectors study closely, and the 1973 D nickel is no exception, as examples have surfaced with unusual die states, alignment irregularities, and planchette-related issues that offer insight into how the Denver Mint operated during high-output years. These characteristics are not just flaws. They are historical fingerprints, and collectors value them because they provide tangible evidence of how coins were actually made, rather than how they were intended to be made. This connection to the minting process adds educational and historical depth to the coin, increasing its appeal far beyond face value. For many viewers watching this video, the story of the 1973 D Washington 5 cent is not just about money, but about discovery, because this coin proves that valuable collectibles are not always ancient or made of precious metals. Instead, value often comes from survival, rarity within condition, and informed demand, and this is why experienced collectors encourage people to examine their change carefully, study mint marks, learn grading standards, and understand error diagnostics. A single well-preserved or unusual coin can spark a lifelong interest in numismatics, turning casual curiosity into serious collecting, and in that sense, the 1973 D 5 cent stands as a powerful reminder that history is still hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. The Washington 5 cent 1974 with mint mark D, more precisely known among numismatists as the 1974 D Jefferson nickel, is a powerful example of how a small, everyday coin from the modern era can carry deep historical importance, unique collectible features, and surprising market value when preserved in very fine VF condition. Because this coin was struck at the Denver Mint during a period of intense economic pressure in the United States, marked by inflation, rising metal prices, and massive coin production demands, which placed heavy stress on mint equipment and resulted in a wide range of strike qualities, die states, and minting irregularities that collectors actively search for today. While millions of 1974 D nickels entered circulation, the overwhelming majority were heavily used in daily transactions, causing severe wear, weak details, and surface damage over time, which is why finding a very fine example with balanced wear, clear lettering, strong rims, visible hair detail on Jefferson, and identifiable architectural lines on Monticello has become increasingly difficult, and this scarcity within condition is one of the key drivers behind collector demand. What elevates the 1974 D 5 cent into conversations about hundreds to thousands of dollars in value is not age alone, but the presence of rare mint errors, striking anomalies, and exceptional eye appeal, including off-center strikes, double die characteristics, clipped planchettes, die cracks, lamination errors, weaker filled mint marks, and unusual die wear patterns, all of which can transform a common coin into a verified rarity when authenticated and certified by professional grading services, where market confidence dramatically increases and competitive bidding often follows. Historically, The Jefferson nickel series has gained renewed attention as collectors realize that modern coins with low survival rates in higher grades and limited error populations can outperform expectations, and the 1974D issue stands out because it reflects both high mintage pressure and selective survival, a combination that creates hidden rarity. In the modern coin market, driven by online auctions, collector forums, YouTube education, and transparent population reports, well-preserved 1974D nickels with confirmed errors or standout visual quality have recorded sales in the hundreds of dollars, and in exceptional, certified error cases, values can reach into the thousands, proving that this 5-cent piece has earned a respected place in U.S. coin history. Beyond monetary value, the 1974D Washington 5-cent tells a larger story about how coins mirror their time, capturing the realities of mass production, economic strain, and everyday use, while also rewarding those collectors who study details, understand grading, and recognize rarity beyond face value, making this coin not just a collectible, but a symbol of how knowledge turns pocket change into a meaningful historical and financial asset in today's evolving numismatic world. When collectors and historians take a closer look at the 1974D 5-cent, they quickly realize that its importance lies not only in the year or mint mark, but in the way it represents a turning point in how modern U.S. coins are evaluated. Because during the mid-1970s the Denver Mint was producing enormous quantities of nickels to meet circulation demand, often prioritizing speed over perfection, which resulted in coins with uneven strikes, die fatigue, and subtle inconsistencies that today's collectors actively seek out as evidence of the minting process under pressure. A very fine example stands apart because it preserves these historical characteristics without losing the core design integrity, allowing Jefferson's portrait to remain expressive and Monticello's structure to remain identifiable, and this balance between wear and detail is what many collectors prefer, as it confirms both circulation history and long-term survival. Over time, as grading standards became more refined and population reports more transparent, it became clear that far fewer 1974D nickels survive in collectible condition than raw mintage figures suggest, creating a quiet scarcity that continues to strengthen market demand. Another critical layer in understanding the hundreds to thousands dollars value potential of the 1974D Washington 5-cent is the growing importance of error specialization within numismatics, because while standard examples fill albums, error coins occupy a completely different category of demand, where collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for authenticity, clarity, and rarity. Dramatic off-center strikes, broad strikes without collars, major die breaks, lamination flaws, and double design elements are especially prized when they remain visible on a coin that still grades very fine or better, since heavy wear can obscure or invalidate error diagnostics. Once these pieces are authenticated and certified, they often appear in specialized auctions where competition among error collectors drives prices sharply upward, sometimes far beyond initial estimates, reinforcing the idea that a 5-cent coin can carry serious financial weight when it represents an unrepeatable minting event. The modern collector mindset also plays a powerful role in elevating the status of the 1974D nickel, because today's buyers are not simply chasing old coins, but are strategically targeting issues that offer a combination of historical relevance, limited high-grade survival, and expanding educational exposure, and the Jefferson Nickel series benefits greatly from online content that teaches people how to identify mint marks, grade wear levels, and recognize errors. As more individuals enter the hobby through digital platforms, demand naturally increases for coins that are both affordable to learn on and capable of delivering strong value growth, and the 1974D 5-cent fits perfectly into this category, acting as a bridge between casual collecting and advanced numismatics. This growing awareness has already begun to influence market behavior, with certified examples trading more consistently and premium pieces achieving standout results. Ultimately, the story of the 1974 D Washington 5-cent in very fine condition is about perspective, because it challenges the assumption that value must be tied to precious metal or extreme age, instead demonstrating that rarity within condition, documented mint errors, and informed collector demand can elevate even the smallest denomination into a respected historical artifact. For viewers watching this video, the lesson is clear. Coins like the 1974 D nickel reward patience, study, and attention to detail, and as the market continues to mature, those who recognize quality early are often the ones who benefit most, turning a humble piece of pocket change into a meaningful part of American coin history and, in special cases, a high-value collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As the discussion around the 1974 D 5-cent grows deeper, it becomes impossible to ignore the role that time itself has played in shaping the coin's modern value, because every year that passes removes more examples from the collectible population due to loss, damage, cleaning, corrosion, or simple neglect, meaning that a very fine surviving coin today is far rarer than it was just a decade ago, and this gradual reduction in quality supply is one of the most powerful yet least visible forces in numismatics. Collectors understand that coins from the 1970s were rarely saved with care, as they were seen as common and disposable, which is why even modestly worn but well-preserved pieces now attract serious attention, especially when surfaces remain natural, rims are complete, and no harsh cleaning has erased original detail. This silent attrition turns the 1974 D nickel into a time-tested survivor, and survivors are always more valuable than mass-produced objects that fail to endure. From a market psychology standpoint, the Jefferson nickel series has reached a stage where collectors are no longer satisfied with simply owning examples, but are instead competing for the best possible versions, and this shift has placed coins like the 1974 D 5-cent under a much brighter spotlight, because it offers an ideal mix of affordability, historical importance, and hidden scarcity. When a very fine coin displays even small advantages, stronger strike, cleaner fields, or more defined Monticello steps, it can stand above others in the same grade, and this visual superiority often translates directly into higher realized prices at auction, where buyers are not just purchasing metal, but quality and confidence. As more collectors chase certified examples, the price gap between average coins and premium pieces continues to widen, reinforcing the idea that knowledge and selectivity are essential in modern coin collecting. Another element that adds long-term strength to the 1974 D Washington 5-cent is its educational value within the hobby, because it serves as a practical teaching coin for grading, error identification, and market evaluation, and coins that play this role tend to maintain relevance over time. Instructors, dealers, and content creators frequently use mid-1970s nickels to demonstrate how mint pressure affects strike quality and how subtle errors form, which keeps demand steady and introduces new buyers to the series every year. This constant influx of informed collectors helps stabilize and grow the market, ensuring that standout examples do not fade into obscurity but instead become reference pieces for future generations of numismatists. In the end, the true power of the 1974 D Washington 5-cent in very fine condition lies in its ability to tell multiple stories at once, of economic stress, mass production, everyday circulation, and selective survival, while also offering real financial upside in special cases, especially when rarity, eye appeal, and certification align. For anyone watching this video, this coin stands as proof that great collectibles are not always obvious at first glance, and that the most rewarding discoveries often come from careful study and patience, turning a simple 5-cent piece into a respected artifact of American history and, in the right circumstances, a valuable coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars.